So how did you come up with the name craft spells, first of all?
It's a reference to a video game called Dragon Quest VIII, where you can craft spells. So, yeah, we made up some really like dumb, I guess, like fake,
just lore, fan fiction
of what it is.
Okay.
But that's the real one.
Okay.
I promise.
What are a few of the
I was
fan
into
fictions?
shamanism. And I was crafting spells to pop hits, some spells, create some spells for pop hits. Like magic.
Yeah, your usual witchcraft 101, 102.
Yeah.
It's nothing too advanced, no super dark arts.
So I like read a bit that you experienced a bit of writer's block, like while you were in San Francisco. What did you do during that period?
I mostly stayed indoors, or like only had kind of like one real like friend out there who was actually just standing in
My friend.
who Michael from the Butchers, and he would take me out of the house sometimes, and that was cool. But mostly I hung out with my girlfriend and wrote music at the time.
How did things change for you? Like after you moved to your parents' house, right?
Yeah. I brought all my stuff to my parents' house, all my recording stuff. And I was still living in San Francisco at the time. And yeah, I just kind of worked on the album there and kind of spent a lot of time reading, hanging out, playing video games. Kind of like, and it was like around winter too, so it was like kind of hibernation and spent a lot of time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Were your parents pretty, like, just generally supportive of you?
Oh,
going
yeah,
back
Yeah, they've been supportive since I was like 14 or something with music.
Okay. So do you think the location and just like general vibes of like certain areas like really influence the fluidity of your process of songwriting?
Absolutely.
I think, yeah, especially being on the road a lot, you like take a lot of influence from your surroundings, and you can kind of like. It's funny because sometimes you find yourself in this beautiful place for 6 hours, and you say like, "Oh, that was like Prague was a beautiful city," you know. But you're at the venue this entire time, or like you're only in this one part and sort of craft this like, or oh god, you imagine sort of this world that like is out there, like, oh yeah, Prague's great, like the architecture, but it's sort of this like imagined like picture that you have of the location. But you can in that like inject your own little narratives and create these little stories and like. Or these experiences, and I don't know. Sometimes, like,
Even simple things like the canals in Amsterdam at night, the like lights reflecting. It's just
walking around these dark streets with like your closest friends.
Yeah,
like,
spare time and creative like thirst at the same time.
Yeah,
create a good ratio of
definitely
good writing experience.
Yeah, but definitely tapping into your surroundings. It's
Yeah.
a great process.
What's been like, right, you probably can't name just one, but what are like a few, say 2 or 3 of the most like inspiring places you find to be?
Berlin's cool. Yeah. Amsterdam. It's a very cosmopolitan city. There's a whole lot going on there.
Yeah. What was it that like drew you to those places?
I think just like kind of I guess urbanized living with water near it. It's just kind of like this kind of mood and like I don't know. It's like an atmosphere that I kind of feel comfortable.
It's like an intersection of like nature and then like human creation. It's really like being in the same place.
I feel like there's something about just like open waters.
Yeah,
it's so like refreshing.
Absolutely.
Being in Salt Lake when you're like landlocked, it's kind of claustrophobic at times.
Oh, good stuff.
Seattle, we got a lot of water. Waterfront.
A lot of city lights.
Yeah.
Good mood.
Good mood.
Yeah. Oh yeah. What are some of your contrarian hobbies? Like, I'll expound on that. Like things that you do or love to indulge in that people wouldn't necessarily expect.
I love to cook. I don't know if that's like everyone loves
That's
that.
kind of true. Yeah.
I mean, I like eating. I don't like cooking.
Yeah,
So
okay.
that's something.
I love cooking.
You play a lot of Street Fighter,
I
don't you?
play a lot of Street Fighter. I mean, I guess people can kind of
He's like
figure out
a
I'm a nerd.
he's a
at some
veteran. Let's see, what else do we do? It's not cool.
point. Too much.
I don't know. Make fun of each other a lot.
Yeah.
I feel like, do you have a secret like love for sports that are like, I don't know, some people
I have
are
a
like,
really big thing for wrinkly dogs, if that counts. Like,
I think that
I
counts.
can't even deal with wrinkly dogs.
do you have a dog?
No, but I told myself when I hit 30 I'm going to quit smoking and buy like 6 pugs. And just kind of spend all my money.
That would be a really awesome campaign.
Yeah, well, it's like just good motivation, you know. Do I love
Yeah.
this pug enough to, you know, get rid of what is my most crippling vice?
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. So that.
Yeah. Wait, so speaking of crippling vices, so yours is probably like smoking. Do you have
It's not a cool thing at all. It's a really dumb and unfun thing to do. But yeah.
Unfortunately, it's probably the same.
Sometimes it's like, yeah, I don't know. Keep yourself.
Everyone has a huge list.
Yeah, we all got, you know, our baggage, but shit, men's designer.
Okay, so I like catering. So I'm a writer, so whenever I write, I like catering to like young audiences. So it's like to demographics that are kind of just beginning to like embark on their creative endeavors.
Yeah.
So what's the best advice you can give to young people who are just starting out?
Well, most definitely be open to everything. When that comes to music, and never really kind of downplaying a band just because you didn't like them at the first listen, or just like consume a lot when it comes to literature and movies, and like really like, I don't know, kind of soak it all up, because it at some point it'll be an influence in some way, or you know, it'll kind of direct you into the right kind of lane for artistic achievement or whatever.
Support your friends.
Support your friends.
Definitely hold your friends up. Love them. Yeah, strong community. You gotta give it live. It's like you gotta give just so you can take or else
Yeah. And as much as you consume, it's good to kind of document all the time, like what you're doing with your music, or I guess poetry, or whatever you do as a hobby or passion. Like document your time over the years.
make bad art. Like make a lot of bad art.
Make a bunch of
Like
mistakes.
seriously, yeah.
Yeah.
You can't make bad art. I mean, that's bad art. And you can't let that happen.
What bits of like literature and music have been your favorite?
What?
Sorry. Sorry guys, could you be like a slightly quiet? Please. Sorry. So what bits of like literature art have been the most inspiring for you?
During that, yeah, I read a lot of Yukio Mishima. He was a Japanese author from the 70s, late 60s, 70s. Committed suicide, but he really kind of, I don't know, set the atmosphere to the record. A couple of songs were kind of like in the same vein of his writing. I got into, I don't know, I guess rereading a lot of Murakami too during the winter. It was nice. Yeah.
I'm reading Norwegian Wood right now.
That's my favorite. Yeah, I finished that book when we were going to the Swiss Alps the first time in Europe, and that's the most satisfied I've ever been. So I hope you enjoy it. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Cool. I love that.
What about yourself?
I like to read a lot of Richard Prodigy, like a San Francisco poet, actually, his stomping grounds.
Okay.
Yeah, from Washington too.
Yeah, from Washington originally, actually, and then moved to San Francisco.
Cool guy.
Yeah.
Cool guy.
I've been listening to, we've all been listening to a lot of this really tight band from Fishmans from Japan. They're like kind of like a dubby, like dream pop thing.
From the 90s.
From the 90s, yeah, amazing band. just like some of the most carefree, like pure music that you could even like conceive. Yeah, music that just makes you feel really happy to be alive. It's really easy to like be taken by like the idea of like the romance of like suffering and like anguish and shit. But it's also really cool to find something that's like,
Sorry.
I don't know, that kind of like warms your heart too. It's sort of like being in a hot tub out in the snow or something.
Where are you headed next after Salt Lake?
We're doing Tree Fort Festival in Boise tomorrow. And then we have like 5 or 6 more shows left on this tour, and I think it's near the end of the 4th week now, going to the 5th.
Do you guys like being on tour? I don't know, some people really love touring, and then others are definitely more into the whole like writing, recording process.
I'm starting to love both now. Now that this lineup has been kind of just like a band of brothers.
Yeah, it's familiar.
And it's just very familiar and very carefree. We have each other's backs. And yeah, so touring has been really enjoyable. Europe had no,
Europe was
so
nuts. It was so jam packed full of like. I feel like we lived like a year's worth of memories.
Really?
Yeah,
That's awesome.
really a blessing.
Awesome.
Well, thanks for meeting.
Oh yeah,
I like talking with you.
Awesome.
Yes. Nice to meet you too.
Yes.